Here we go.
All right.
Start with some questions.
Yeah.
You go first.
Film review after Seattle U. What did you see?
They made a lot of tough shots. You go back and you say, contested shots, uncontested shots. So you got to give them a lot of credit. But we have to tighten up. There were some breakdowns, some poor execution down the stretch where I thought we could have put the game away in one of the overtimes. But just like during the game, the kids showed a lot of resiliency. But they hurt us on the glass, free throw rebounding. We fouled three-point shooters. Things that we have to clean up, and we will.
Right. They got three calls on 3-point shots.
Yeah.
Was that? I'm trying not to get you in trouble. Were they kicking their legs out a little bit?
They were, but we also weren't giving them a lot of room. But they were kicking their legs out, and so that was one of the things you can't really control. But if the refs aren't calling it and they're not calling a flop, you got to be very careful. But there was definitely leg kicks going on during the game.
And Moses got called for a flop.
Yeah, and so it's just again, hard to referee these games, but we felt that they weren't calling it, and then you have to be able to adjust and adapt in the game because you don't want to. There was one late in the shot clock; they had no chance.
And Big Frank, everybody's wondering if he's okay.
Yeah, he's listen, coming back from what he came back from, the bottom line is you just want him to feel good. He's he works so hard that sometimes you just need a little bit of rest. But structurally everything's good. He's just one of those kids. He doesn't know how to play like 90%. He knows how to play 150. And then what we have to do is manage him a little bit more when he's here because he'll be in the gym shooting for 2 hours or running the steps. So part of that is our management of him. But he'll be okay.
Just underneath the basket. I'm underneath the basket all the time, and just some of the stuff he does.
Yeah.
His facial expressions, his verbalization,
Yeah.
his screaming. It's are guys intimidated by that?
I don't know. I know I would be. But I don't know. I can't speak for anybody else. But his passion, it reminds me a lot of Isaiah Stewart. He just plays with a passion and a relentless attack mode on both ends of the floor. And can't teach that. That's something that's internal. He's driven. And the great thing about Frank is how, we always say in our program, how you do anything is how you do everything. And, off the court, he attacks academics the way that he attacks playing against a good player. He's just relentless in being a successful human being.
Paul, I know he's still got his finger.
Yeah.
Bandage. He doesn't look like he's 100%. He doesn't look real confident in that. Do you rest that or play through it?
No, he's just got to play through it. He wants to play through it. He's tough. All our guys, top to bottom, I felt we all individually could have done a better job on the defensive end, sticking to our principles. How we're going to play. I felt like they played, especially in the first half, grittier than we did. I felt in the second half we did. That's how we were able to come from the deficit that we had. I did not know this. I did not know that we didn't have a lead the entire regulation. I don't know if you guys knew that, but I was told we did not have a lead the entire game until overtime. And so to be able to win a game like that, that just shows a lot about their mindset and the character of these young men.
Corin, he started. Is that something you plan on doing on Thursday?
Could be. He's had really good practices. I believe, when he's really engaged, that's the consistency part, he's as good a defensive player as there is. He just brings a disruptive nature. Like, he's got great hands. He's got great instincts. And we've been really, really happy and proud of how he's been playing, especially of late.
He's got a couple more. Xavier.
Yeah.
Conference Player of the Week.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that.
You know what? He's. I've never been around a guy who's had 12 assists, 0 turnovers, 14 assists. I've never seen that other than when I used to watch John Stockton and Steve Nash. His ability to make other guys better. He's a unique player. Tough, confident, and love to coach him. So I'm really, really happy for him, just happy for him.
We know what you're going to get out of Frank every night. And then Braxton comes in, and gets the lob dunks, rebounds, and block shots defensively. And then Wilhelm Bradenbach comes in when Frank goes down, and he just continues to.
Yeah, we had 30 points and 16 rebounds from our bigs.
That's good.
It's unbelievable in 40 minutes. That's you had Patrick Ewing in his prime. That's what you had with the combination of all of them. They all bring something unique and different. The thing that I was more impressed is they were ready when their name was called. And it wasn't like Braxton didn't play in the second half up until that moment, and he performed. And just really proud of. That's a maturity. That's the leaders in the locker room, talking to them on the bench, making sure that they stay engaged, and that just shows that we're growing as a team.
So if you get 30 and 16 from your bigs, 22 and 9 from Keon, and 14 assists from Xavier, you should win the game.
There's no question about it. I think Paulie had 6 assists or whatever, and he had 6 assists in 15 minutes. That's not normal. It took me a long time to get 6 assists. Maybe 5 games.
Percy?
Percy, what you got?
Hello? Yes.
Hey, Percy.
Hey, Coach. Hey, so do you think you'll have Big Frank for tomorrow, or do you might have to rest him?
I think that's going to be up to our trainer, Pat, and so I'll get more information at practice today. But Frank was feeling better yesterday. He was, doing all his recovery, and it's all based on how he feels.
And any update on Wesley Yates yet?
No update, Percy. He still hasn't practiced. He's doing shooting, individual stuff, but nothing team related.
Is there a drop dead date with Wesley as it pertains to, does he play this year, or will he take a measure?
You know what? There's no actually date right now. Obviously, we would love for him to be an addition, but we're not going to do that until he's 110% him feeling great. And that's what we're waiting for. It's all about, with Frank, him, the guys, Paulie with his head, it's going to be, can their injuries get any worse, or do they feel that they can play at their, best capability?
And then I just want to get your thoughts on just, I don't know if there's necessarily a formula for the comebacks that you guys have had, but to be down 16 in this last game, to be down, I think it was 12, 14 or so against the Zags, and both of them were in the second half and to come back. How do you do that?
It's you just believe. We were down, I think, 11 with 2.5 minutes to go to San Diego State, and we had a foul shot to win the game. They're just, we can. One of the things is we've got dynamic offensive players, and so we can score in bunches. You get a stop, we can score in 4 seconds with Xavier's speed. And again, hopefully we're not putting ourselves in those positions too many times. I think the trick for this team is how do we, build a lead where we're not, there playing from behind. But it just shows. They're just never quit guys. They believe that they can win every game that they play, and that just gives you a lot of confidence. There's so many highs and lows in a game. There's so many runs. What we have to do as we keep growing is, not getting down 11, maybe being down 4, and then making, scoring 11 and winning by 7 rather than, keeping these things close. But it just shows when you have guys that are high character kids, they believe in each other, they're winners. That's what you get.
I think it was Xavier who attributed to just the experience on this team. That you have so many guys who have played over 100 games, and so and the way he put it was that they're just not rap, if I think that, they've seen so much at this level that to be down 16 against SU, they understand what they need to do to get back into the game.
Well, I agree with that. And that goes back to when you have an older team, there's less panic. There's more, how do we execute? It's not just how hard you play, which we do, and we're gritty. We got to play a lot. It's smarter plays. It's Corn at the end of the game. Not throwing that pass. You're up 3. They got to foul him. He's an elite shooter. The law of probabilities, right? Like, keep it. Go to there, make your 2 foul shots. You're up 5. 20 seconds left in the game, and you set your defense. There's a lot of plays like that. But the comebacks, Percy, you got to have, like you said, that down 16, down 14 doesn't phase them. And because they're poised and they know exactly, they've been in those situations before.
As college basketball changes, as it's constantly changing, how do you now, coach a veteran team? I kind of looked it up when KenPom, you are the second most experienced team in the country, which I found to be incredible.
Yeah.
But as a coach, how does that, push you, maybe force you to dig into your bag of tricks? Because these guys, again, they have things before, so maybe some things that you may do to motivate a freshman may not work on a fifth-year senior like Paul.
I think it goes back to how you recruit, you build relationships with these young men, and you get to know them. And again, that's still until you're in the trenches and good and bad times where you really learn about people. But you do your background checks. We were really specific with who we brought in, not just on a skill set, but the type of people that they are. And I think that shows in the situations that we've been in. And what I love about it is for young guys like Corin and Nate, Christian King, Wesley, they're getting great, people to learn from. And I think the way that we built this team was also a way to have the culture that you want to have. And then, that can also rub off on the young men. And now we can build with a combination of players within our program and, filling in the blanks with transfer portal / people that really fit what we do. And I feel like our staff did an amazing job, I believe, of getting this formula, the type of people, the amount of skill, the amount of intelligence, and most importantly, the amount of experience to build this team.
If I could get a thought or two on Eastern, just how are they looking? What did they do? What are the keys to the game tomorrow?
Well, they are very well coached. They've been when you talk about mid-majors, they've been one of the great offensive systems, like really score. They're shooting 35% from the three-point line as a team. They've got multiple skilled, tough players. We all know who Jake Kyman is, transferred from UCLA. He beat us in here in Mick Cronin's first year, made 7 threes. Just an elite shooters, played in our league. Like Seattle U, they're physical, they're tough, they play. There might not be as good a defensive team as Seattle U, but they're tough like that. They've got some guys that have played with each other. And, it's going to be a great test. I mean, they invert their guards where they'll post up if they see a mismatch, and then they surround you with 4 shooters, and it's a fun system to watch and study because it's been very, very effective, and be just another great challenge for us.
So after giving up 99 points in your last game, how do you prepare for all of that?
We have to, we can't give up 9 threes in the first half of a game. That's just not going to, that's That's not our formula, and so we're going to have to defend better. Defending without fouling. Seattle U still went to the foul line, I think, 25 times. We did do that. And then we had a little slippage in terms of, we out-rebounded them, but they still got a lot of second-chance points where we've got to do a way better job of rebounding. And I felt like with our focus on it against Montana State and Gonzaga, I thought we rebounded at a high level. We've got to now do those things on a consistent basis every night if we want to be the team to reach our potential. And it's something that we're going to work for every night.
There you go. Hey, I would be remiss if I didn't ask about your hands. Are you 6 to 8 weeks, or is this?
It's 6 to 8 weeks if I'm a good student.
Are you?
I'm trying to be.
The money's on the over.
Kim goes, the money's on the over. I'm in a brace, and I'm just trying to keep it stabilized, mobilized, and so I'll get it reevaluated in a couple weeks. But for the most part, the doctors are looking at me with a big wide lens, making sure that I'm being good.
So you can't get on court then, right? So
I can get on the court. I just can't do anything. And Quincy did a great job during the game. Like, when you want to drop a play, that the communication was good. I got a great staff. And so, we just, we got to get back to that tape, like you said, against, Seattle U. How do we improve? How do we get better? How do we sharpen our weapons and move forward?
there you go. All right, folks.
Thank you, Percy.
Is that it? One more. Just, last non-conference game of the year, isn't it? Are you where you want to be? And going into conference play, what's one or two things you absolutely have to do?
Well, listen, the bottom line is we played, and, Percy said Ken Palm, I think our overall, the 50th strength of schedule in the country, and played some really good teams, played some really good basketball. But again, there was a little bit of slippage the other night in terms of, being a consistent elite defensive team, how we were, I think, in the second half versus the Zags. If we can bring that. Now, with that, it's like, are you going to have your 95-mile-an-hour fastball every night? I don't know. But that's what we strive to be. The last couple games, or at least this game, I played 10 guys in the first half. As we evolve, I think I liked doing it. I thought Nate Calmes, the guys improved, and then when they were called on in the second half when we needed them, they helped us win the game. But I think just the consistency on the defensive end of executing the scouting report is going to be the key. Defend, and then if we can rebound consistently, we're going to be in transition, and that's where we're at our best. So the two things, defend and rebound and share. That's three. I think, to have 24 assists in that game, and, that shows you that we're sharing, but something that we're just going to keep promoting and doing every game.
All good. Thanks.
All right, Purse.